Hi guys, so I've seen loads and loads of people do these and I always thought they looked really cool, and it gives you a little bit of background on what my life has actually been like. So, welcome to Draw My Life. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave your comments at the bottom. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as Hippie Baby Mama. So I'm 22 years old and I'm from the UK. I was born on the 26th of the 2nd, 1994. I'm also a teen mum, or a young mum now. Now I'm out of my teenage years, to Max and Ronnie. I had a pretty normal childhood and I was born to my mum, Sarah, and my dad, Bob. Sorry for my bad stick drawings. But when I was 3 years old, they decided to divorce. Things were never really the same from then on. I was living with a split family, so I stayed some of the time at my mum's and some of the time at my dad's. Me and my dad have a really close relationship. As I said, my childhood was overall pretty good. I really liked school and I really enjoyed reading, and I still enjoy reading now. I read at least one book a week. My favourite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. I also really enjoy photography, and I did also enjoy photography whilst I was at school, and it was one of my hobbies. I had loads of friends. I lived in a really small town where everybody knew each other. When I was 5 years old, I bit my dinner lady. And ever since, my entire family has taken the mick out of me. My auntie actually calls me Chucky because of that. Soon I moved on to secondary school, but when I was 15 years old, something happened and it was quite bad. Me and my mum had never really got on, and we got into absolutely massive fight. These are my fight faces. We both decided that it might be better if I went to live in Bath, which is 40 miles away and where I still live now, with my dad. I really enjoyed living with my dad, but what it also meant is at 5 o'clock every single morning, I had to get the train to school just to be able to complete my GCSEs. This is because the exam boards in Bath and Salisbury work really differently. However, it was only for 6 months I did it, and I did walk away with pretty good GCSE results. After school, I trained to be a nursery nurse, and I now have a level 3 in childcare. I also worked as a waitress as well as in a childcare setting to be able to pay my bills because I lived on my own. But when I was 17 years old, I met someone. I met my partner and my fiance and the father to my 2 children, Matt. We moved in together pretty much straight away, and we've never been away from each other since. "4 months after me and Matt had been together, we found out a little secret. We were pregnant with what we didn't know was Max. We moved to a private rented property, which was 3 bedrooms, and it was lovely. It was just on the outskirts of Bath. And whilst I was pregnant with Max, I got really, really fat. And quite spotty also. At 18 years old, I went into labour. It took 12 hours, but I managed to do it naturally. And I gave birth to our first little boy. We were over the moon, and we couldn't wait to take him home. We named him Max, which is our favourite name whilst I was pregnant. Robert, after my dad. And of course Matt's surname, which is Smith. However, at the time, we didn't realise his initials spell Mrs., which may cause him some problems in the future. He was born on the 30th of the 9th, 2012. We were told that he weighed £6, 12 ounces. However, when we got him home, they realised the midwives had made a mistake, and actually he was born £6, 7 ounces. I love being a mum to Max, and I still do. I did a little bit of baby wearing on and off with him, but not much. We had a lovely first Christmas with him, and we had Matt's nan over. She died a couple of years ago, but she was really, really funny. She told me that I ought to give Max a boiled carrot for his roast dinner at Christmas, but he was only 12 weeks old. However, on Boxing Day, we got a phone call, and it wasn't good news. It was one of our landlords calling to tell us that after we had decorated the whole house and brought Max back there and had settled in after only a couple of months, they decided they wanted their house back, and it was pretty. This meant that for 8 weeks we had to go live in a hostel until they could find us a council house. We were really, really keen on not going into a private rent again. And even though it was a really hard time, we made some really good friends whilst we were there. And it wasn't that bad actually, because my dad actually lived up the road from the hostel and his friends lived next door to it. So we were really lucky in that sense. And the people that we met in there, some of them we're still friends with now. After 8 weeks, we got moved into our flat. Sorry, that's an F. And we've lived there ever since, and we've put a lot of time and a lot of money into decorating it. We could have had a house if we had picked a slightly different area. However, we were determined that we wanted to live in the area we live now because there's good schools and a good bus network. Where we were before, even though it was a lovely house, it was really out of the way when you have children. Soon after we moved in, I decided that I wanted to go work in a shoe shop, and I became supervisor quite quickly. I really, really, really enjoyed my time working there. But, again, we had another little surprise in store, which was I was pregnant again with what we now know to be Ronnie. We were shocked, but very, very pleased. You'll be getting used to my bad drawings by now. Again, we didn't really know it, but we were about to hit some hard times. At our 20-week scan, we found out that Ronnie had something wrong with his lungs. Now, it wasn't a very pleasant scan because at the time, Max actually had chicken pox, which meant that Matt couldn't come to the scan with me, so I was all on my own when I found out. However, things got slightly worse through the pregnancy. At 26 weeks, I started bleeding. I actually lost some of my waters, and they didn't recognise it actually until a couple of weeks later. At 28 weeks, I started bleeding again, but when I was admitted to hospital, they actually found that the reason I had been feeling so poorly was that I had pneumonia. Again, we had nobody to look after Max, so this meant that Matt had to look after him and I was on my own. I got quickly better from it, but I never really felt the same until after I had Ronnie. Everything else kind of went smoothly, and at 35 weeks, we were in for a little surprise. On the 20th of the 1st, 2015, when Max was 2 years and 3 months old, we were blessed with a surprisingly healthy Ronnie. We called him Ronnie after his granddad, which is on Matt's side, Matthew after Matt, and of course the same surname again. And you will notice that their initials are actually the same but mixed round for both the boys. He was born after just a 20-minute labour, and I actually almost had him in the corridor of the hospital, and Matt arrived with ripped jeans where he had tried to run so fast to be able to get there because he came out so quickly. We settled into life with 2 screaming kids pretty quickly, and at first, I can't lie, it was really, really difficult. Sleep deprivation does nothing for no one, and we found it really, really hard. But after a couple of months, we got used to it, and they began to behave a lot better and get on with each other a lot more. And now they're actually really good friends, even though they fight occasionally. Around this time, Ronnie went through a fussy stage when he was about 6 weeks old. So I decided to get a sling, and it became a little bit of an obsession. I still carry him now, and he has never actually been on a pushchair. You will usually find him asleep on my back. We absolutely love baby wearing, and we have loads and loads and loads of wraps. On my 22nd birthday, I was actually going to get a surprise of the good variety for a change. After 4 years, Matt finally asked me to marry him. And again, we were very, very happy. And so were the boys. It was a great way to have my birthday. On May 31st, 2016, I joined YouTube, and we have never looked back since. We're really, really enjoying our journey, and it's even getting to the point where Matt thinks he wants to be on one of my videos too. We hope it continues to be a really good journey, and we hope you like, subscribe, and don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you enjoyed Draw